Oh boy, man. Y'all ever trying to do videos and just the lights are hot? You gotta drink water, make sure you hydrate, cause just recording yourself is just can be exhausting. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, well, I'll tell you what. Let's get it.
I hear voices. I hear voices. I hear voices.
Yo, what's poppin' in the streets, everybody? I believe, therefore, I'm KingSylar. Hope you guys have been doing all right. We're back finally, officially, for real this time. I know last time, a couple weeks ago, I said that I wouldn't stop and I would be continuously dropping content. But unfortunately, my external hard drive was corrupted and it broke. It was dropped. And so we had to get a new one. But we're finally back, so that way, obviously, brand new camera, 4K. We need an external hard drive. My computer cannot handle that amount of process or that type of information that's going to the computer. So we're back now officially and we're with it. But obviously you guys can see the title. Got an interesting topic for you guys today. Top 5 things that rookies should be doing within their first 3 to 4 years or whenever they're first getting into the movement. I understand that people have opinions about this particular topic. I mean, all the stuff that I do usually is kind of hot takes, things of that nature. But it just, it's kind of a sliding scale for people. Some people don't care about it. Some rookies don't care about it. Some rookies don't even know what they're supposed to be doing. There are even some people that would be considered tenured individuals or heavy hitters in the game that's in choreography and freestyle that don't really care about any type of process as far as in terms of like how you get into a movement, as long as you're there, and sometimes as long as they're profiting or you're putting money in their pockets. But that's where we're gonna kind of cut it short, but we'll leave it at that. But before we even get started, please make sure that you like, share, subscribe. Go ahead, hit that notification bell for your boy for more content to be dropping, so that way if you're at work, you're sitting on the toilet, you're chilling, you ain't got nothing better to do, or if you're just one of them hating ass people who just likes to watch my channel, I know that's probably at least about a good 30 to 40 of y'all who just simply watch it just to dissect it and say that I'm wrong. Hey, make sure that you go ahead and follow as well. You can also find me on Instagram, King_Sylar. It's right there for you. Be on the lookout. Gonna create a new page for you guys so that way you can also see the content that drops on the channel, not just simply directly to my personal channel. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Number 1, seek out the culture, take a class. Get your feet wet. See if you like it. See if you love it or hate it. Now, I understand, this may be something that people are just kind of like, oh, that should have been number 1. For me, I think that's the first thing that you should do. Like, that should be a no-brainer. If you're interested in getting involved in something in a particular culture, or even if you want to dance, seek out the class. Get your feet wet. See if it's something that you actually enjoy. Because I think a big problem that people do is that they don't necessarily like the dance. They like maybe the people. You know what I'm saying? Or they just simply like just dancing in general, but they don't necessarily rock with the genre of dance. Like, see if you actually enjoy it. Just because you meet people doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be committed to a particular genre of dance. Like, that's a ground ball. I think everybody should obviously know that, but more so than anything else, obviously crump, which is predominantly my genre of dance that I teach and partake in. A lot of people don't last long in crump because they see that it's high energy, there's a lot of battling, there's a lot of energy. It's almost what one would be considered a presentation style genre of dance. There's a lot of one-on-one battles, one person at a time, so there's always a camera pointed at you, things of that nature. So it can be a very intimidating genre of dance, and people love the dance, they just don't necessarily are committed to integrating completely into the community of people. So I say that's number 1. Find a class, see if you even like the genre of dance before you even involve yourself in it first. Simple. Number 2, find a community. Find a solid community with leaders, veterans, OGs, heavy hitters, rookies. Find a community where you can maybe see yourself being immersed into. Like I said previously, once you found the genre of dance that maybe you like, find the community. Simple as that. Because obviously an entry as far as like finding the genre of dance, okay, I like this. Maybe I don't like this. I love this. Okay, well then after that, once you know, now you need to find a community where you're interacting with people, information is constantly flowing, you're communicating. things of that nature. And it's important to find that community after you know that you're actually committed and you want to continue down this path. You want to be able to find a circle of people that you connect with. Now, people will take that out of context because they'll just simply say, oh, I'm just going to go find a group of people that I rock with, meaning this is just what I want. Yes and no in regards to that. What you want to do as far as when you find like all those layers of people, find a solid community that is going to help you develop and grow. That's going to become a better dancer. Even if it's that particular genre, you transition to somewhere else, a solid community will tell you where you can transition to. Okay, maybe hip hop it's not as intense enough for you. Okay, maybe you want to transition to crump, or maybe crump is too energetic for you. It's too raw and too rugged. You want something a little bit more clean, or maybe you want to pop, or maybe you just want something that's just maybe fun, lighthearted, spirited, with lots of music. Okay, maybe you go over to house, and the list goes on and on and on and things of that nature. People do that all the time. But as I said, make sure that you know that you want to be in a particular genre of dance. You want maybe that to be your starting point, and then find the community, because your community will direct you to where you should go, or at the very least, they will be able to direct you to somebody who can help you where to go. People think that like, oh, let me find my circle is because like, oh, well, this circle of people is never going to push me. They're never going to do anything. They're never going to, take me out of my comfort zone. That's not a community that you want to be in. That's like joining a football team, and I want to be on the football team, but I don't want to be coached. I don't want to be with a bunch of players that want to win. Doesn't really do anything for you. Kind of sounds pretty dumb if we're just simply being honest. So again, find yourself a community where you can immerse yourself into, and there are layers, so that way you can see the development as far as like, okay, here's where the rookies are, here are their starting points, the heavy hitters are here, these are some of the veterans who are maybe leading the community right now, and then those are the OGs, some people that maybe are retired or who kind of popping in the movement just to simply serve as a pillar of knowledge and information for the next generation. Simple. Number 3, travel. Travel. Seems pretty simple, right? It seems to be something that a lot of people unfortunately don't do. So the reason why I have traveling at number 3 is because you should already have number 1 and number 2 down before you start traveling. Traveling is supposed to broaden your horizon, give you a different aspect on maybe the genre of dance that you're already committed and immersed into. Maybe see the differences as far as in terms of this community that's maybe out here in Texas versus the community that's out, maybe even next door in Louisiana or something like that. They can be very different. You want those inspirations, but you want to make sure that you understand how you're being inspired. I think people confuse motivated with being inspired. Motivation usually is direct. It's hands-on. Like, get this done. Inspired meaning you may see something like, okay, I could walk down the street right now and see 2 cats fighting and stuff like that, and they start rolling on the ground. That can inspire me to do, maybe work on the ground or whatever the case may be. That whole action is not necessarily for me, but it's just something that I happen to be exposed to, and that shows as far as like, oh, that inspires me to do something creative. It's the same with other people's community. The music is different, the way people move is different, how people talk about the culture, maybe somebody's spiritual connection as far as to the culture is different. You can't really find a lot of that unless you travel. And I can definitely say, as somebody who's been to Canada, Mexico, all over the United States, I went overseas when I was younger. So it is definitely very much a situation where culture and community are different everywhere that you go. That's even outside of dance. People just simply operate in different capacities. So it is important for you to make sure that you're ready and committed before you start traveling. But once you do, you will find that your mind and your philosophy about dance will open up in ways that you probably never would have guessed it could have. But it will. That's why traveling is at number 3 for me. Number 4, seek out ciphers, battles, comps, tournaments. Only then, as the avatar, once you master all of the different types of competition, I'm kidding. Battling, seek out comps, tournaments, battles, ciphers. These things are important. One of the bigger things that I tell a lot of rookies whenever they come into the game is that don't be worried about battling immediately. Be able to interpret the style of dance that you are participating in correctly, even if it's at a very fundamental or basic level. People are so swept up in as far as like seeing the elites go head to head, seeing these crazy moves, or watching these jams and competitions and showcases and presentations, things of that nature, that they just immediately jump from, oh, I want to do this to that. Immediately. You have to understand is that like that is a developing process over time. It's not to say that you can't do them, but the best possibility for you to be here for a long time, and not just simply a long time, but for a good time, meaning that you know what you're talking about. You're educated, you have knowledge that's been developed over time through a variety of experiences, classes, relationships, communities, things of the nature, all the things that I just previously named. When you seek out those things, you should be ready to step into those positions. That should be last, if we're just being honest. It should be last. Ciphers and sessions are obviously a lot more norm because it is supposed to be, I will steal something, is what Tie-Dye calls the all-star game. There are no factions at that particular time. When we talk about sessions and ciphers, that should just simply be music in the background. We're not worried about necessarily showcasing or whatever the case may be. Battles can happen in the cipher, but this is just simply a space where people are supposed to express, get in, and get out. We are living in the moment. Ciphers and sessions. Crumpers usually have sessions. Most other genre of dance usually have ciphers, things of that nature. Or house, you'll go to the club and things of that nature. So on and so forth. But those things are meant to be felt in real time. Those things are going to teach you how to adapt in real time. The music switches, bumping into people, dancing in a close quarters space, you know, dancing with eyes on you, like to where it's just like somebody is like probably this far away from you in your session and you're trying to get down. That's some high level stress that you're just gonna have to meet. So seek out those things. Competitions and battles and stuff, those will naturally come. And I'm not saying that you need to avoid those for a long period of time. I think it's okay, you know, hey, within like your, maybe like if you're really committed to it, if it's like a daily or weekly, consistent, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, if you're really on it. I know some people who have battled within their first 6 months of crumping. I know some people who battled within their first 3 to 4 months of crumping. That's just simply what they were exposed to. But it doesn't mean that they need to dismiss all the other things. They still have to be consistent as far as sessions, ciphers, going to jams, going to tournaments, so that way they're able to see and learn and adapt in real time. Battling is often pre-selected. We know what's gonna happen in advance for some people, for crumpers and maybe other genres of dance, but popping and breaking and house and lock and stuff like they're tournaments, so everything is immediate. So there's no better conditioning or training than that than to go to a cipher. So seek out ciphers, jams, comps, battles. Last but certainly not least, I definitely think it's probably the most important, be a rookie. Let me say it for the people in the back, be a rookie. Understand that you're a student, you're new. You would still technically be considered a guest in a space that you are still integrating yourself into. Now I get it as far as this has become like a very almost hot topic, or one that people hate to kind of like touch on when we start saying the term guest, because it makes them feel disconnected or not, pretty much like you're not a part of us, like you're an outsider. Well, to a certain degree, yes, you are. It's no different from anything else. Just simply because you like something and you come into it and you're committed to it for 4 to 5 months doesn't necessarily mean that like, oh, you're all the way in there. Like, you're still earning your stripes. So as you're doing that, be a student. Be a student. You shouldn't be concerned about creating other spaces and stuff like that, because that's such a thing nowadays to where everybody has to feel this level of security in a space to where you're a visitor in. Let me correct that first and foremost. A safe space should be wherever there's music playing for you. If you're at a point in your career in dance where dance and music playing isn't enough of a safe space for you, then you need to reevaluate what you're doing. And I'm not saying that as far as spaces where like that's hostile towards you, or you have beef with somebody, or you're unwelcome somewhere. That's entirely different from what I'm talking about. But if there is a space for you to go, if there is a session that is open to everybody and there aren't any enemies or any disgruntled individuals or violent individuals, and you know that you're welcome there, do not go out of your way as a beginner or as a rookie to create a space where you feel comfortable. That in itself is splitting the culture. That is appropriation. Like, oh, I'm trying to take this, but I don't really want anything to do with the community or culture that already exists. I'm just gonna take what I have and I'm gonna create a space to where I control. That is wrong. And please remember, I said within your first 3 to 4 years. Let's just also be honest. I don't care how long you've been in. In 3 to 4 years, you're not an expert on anything. You're just not. Even after you graduate high school, you're still not some math whiz that is just like a master class. They'll still make you go to college to make sure that you're prepared to teach other people. So why would it be any different as far as here when it comes to any culture of dance? You need to spend your time being a student. Stop trying to create a space. Stop trying to, you shouldn't even be profiting either. That's another thing, is that people, they catch a win and they, so to speak, they catch a momentum and they think like, oh, well, I started doing this, so therefore I start getting paid for it. Like, no, you shouldn't. You're not ready for that. Even as dancers, we have to understand is that even our lives are integrated through this. I tell people all the time when they come in, you shouldn't be doing anything but being a student and learning. Listen, watch, learn. And if you're surrounded by the right people and you're following the right leaders, follow until you're ready to lead. Until that right person says, hey, I think you should be in a position where you're leading the next generation. That position should be earned. I shouldn't just go do it because I can. That's why we have so many rifts and so many communities that we have now, is because everybody seeks a space to where they can control. Instead of being a humble individual in a community that's trying to learn and make sure it grows, because we grow together, not separately. Everything has a root. It can go different directions, but it all needs to come back to the root at the end of the day. Focus on being a humble individual. It's that simple. Don't worry about making money off right now. Our lives go into this. We experience loss, heartache, jobs, car issues, family issues. We fall out of relationships with friends. Like, we leave dance crews, we get into dance crews, we make money, we lose money, like we get hurt, injured. We have our ebbs and flows as far as like our commitment to the culture and the dance, things of that nature. All those things have to be learned before you find yourself in a position where you're directing anybody else. And an additional part of it, hey, if your life isn't together, whether we want to admit it or not, a lot of times you shouldn't be in a position of leading either. Because as a community, our lives still go around. We're supposed to help each other. We can have different types of lifestyles all day, every day. But we need to all have a common consensus about what we want to do and how we want to develop the movement. But you can't do that if you're too busy struggling just to simply keep yourself above water. So understand that life continues regardless if you're in the dance or not. But to be a leader has to be something that is earned. You have to go through things. You have to learn things. You need to be self-aware, self-conscious. Like, if I'm going to put myself in a position where I'm going to teach somebody else, I better know myself. And I think that's one of the bigger things that we don't see, is that people don't even know themselves, but they put themselves in positions to teach others. The blind cannot lead the blind. A sheep cannot be a shepherd at the same time. So, as I said, most important, number 5, be a student. Take your time, learn. And just understand, as I said before, you never know. 2 or 3 years in, you might say, I'm done with this. Life's taking me somewhere else. You didn't really give yourself no time to be a student if you're doing all these other things. Be a student. Stop trying to grab the wheel. It's okay to get out of the car from time to time and go get in somebody else's car. That's not a problem. There's nothing wrong with that. No one says that you can't get off. No one says that you can't quit. No one says that you can't take a break. But when you come in and you are not prepared to be here for the long haul, and you start taking people in another direction that you yourself are not prepared for, understand you are part of one of the root problems that we have in our communities today. Too many blind trying to lead the blind. And then we come back and we wonder why the infrastructure is jacked up. Well, you were one of the many people that took an axe to it. I'm just gonna trim this a little bit. Next thing you know, you're chopping at the root. So, those are my top 5 things. That's my opinion about those. Top 5 things that rookies should be doing in the first 3 to 4 years. Let me know your thoughts. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe. Hit that comment section for your boy. Let me know your thoughts about it. What do you think your top 5 are as far as rookies should be doing in the movement? Let me know what you think. Talk to you later. Peace.